Tampa boat people leave Australian waters as the government claims victory. Lucrative new tax breaks for Australian-made films. School children become targets of religious violence in Northern Ireland. Good evening. It was so near and yet so far for the asylum seekers on board the Tampa. Within sight of Australian territory for a week, they're now being taken to Papua New Guinea on the Navy transport vessel HMAS Manoora. Hugh Rimmington begins our coverage.
Well, the two key maritime players in this drama, the Tampa and the Manoora, are tonight steaming in opposite directions. The asylum seekers still face up to a week at sea before they make landfall, and in all probability many more months before they'll finally find a country in which they might be allowed to settle. An island farewell. The Tampa, finally free to go, passed close by to receive the locals' salute. The transfer of the asylum seekers was completed just before sundown. People who had threatened to jump overboard a week earlier went quietly. They climbed onto barges brought alongside the Tampa and the naval transporter Manoora and were then ferried across on Army Zodiacs. Soon the Manoora itself was crowded with new arrivals. The Tampa preparing to steam for Singapore.
The warship Manoora, safe forge. Out. Take good care of all my guests.
The waters were calm. There were absolutely no hiccups at all.
Of all those who set off from Indonesia 2 weeks ago, only 4 finally made it ashore. They were the crew of the sunken ferry, the lowly foot soldiers to the international people smugglers. One of them only 17. They spent the night in the police lockup. Today they were brought before a specially convened court on charges that carry up to 20 years in jail. The 3 adults charged in open court said they'd been told in Indonesia the Australian government had requested the boat people be taken to Christmas Island. They then asked for bail, saying they wanted to look for jobs here in Australia. Of the 300 people smugglers arrested most recently, 240 have received at least 2 years jail. Bail for these 4 was refused. They'll be flown to Perth under police guard. Meanwhile, ocean-bound at last after the most extraordinary experience of his 43-year career, the captain of the Tampa was given a message. Please, no hard feelings.
Captain, on behalf of the island community, we'd like to express our admiration.
Thank you, Christmas Island. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So for the first time in a week, Christmas Islanders woke up this morning, looked out of their windows and saw nothing but the sea and the sky, not a ship in sight. For a whole week, they have been the centre of a matter of international significance, certainly of Australian significance. But for now, the boat people and the issue have moved on.
Hugh Rimmington on Christmas Island. In the federal court, meanwhile, Justice Tony North ended proceedings today by saying that the case was almost impossible to rule and ordering both parties into private talks. The Solicitor General told the court that the situation of the boat people was self-inflicted because they aggressively demanded the ship's captain change course from Indonesia to Australia. And the debate over the asylum seekers is thought to be the reason behind someone mailing bullets and detonators to 3 prominent federal politicians. Police have stepped up security, while the Prime Minister says such threats have no place in Australia.
John Howard's tough stand on asylum seekers has clearly boosted his popularity. On Talkback Radio, the accolades come thick and fast.
Congratulations on your firm stand regarding the asylum seekers.
I thank you for what you've done. I think we should have done this a long time ago.
But things are not nearly so pleasant for politicians who oppose sweeping legislation. Mr Howard tried to get through Parliament last week, allowing virtual open slather in dealing with refugee boats. Packages containing detonators and bullets were intercepted yesterday in security checks at Parliament House. Addressed to Labor leader Kim Beazley, Australian Democrat leader Natasha Stott-Despoja and Green Senator Bob Brown.
Naturally worried about my staff, about the postal service people.
This incident shows that the immigration issue in our community can take on an ugly dimension.
I unreservedly deplore and condemn that kind of behaviour. It ought to have no place in Australian life.
Measures to protect the 3 MPs have been stepped up while federal police investigate. But what's preoccupying all political parties is the electoral impact of the controversy. Opinion polls suggest that when the Tampa picked up those Afghani asylum seekers from a sinking Indonesian fishing boat, it may also have rescued the Howard government. A news poll today shows support for the coalition up 5% to 45%, 6 points ahead of Labor. An AC Nielsen poll has the coalition up 2 points, drawing level with Labor on 40%.
I didn't do this for poll reasons. I did it because I thought it was right.
Laurie Oakes, National 9 News.
The brother of a murdered Sydney security guard says the killing has shattered his image of Australia as a peaceful place to live. The 31-year-old was shot during a robbery at Punch Bowl. The killer's still on the run.
A native of Pakistan, Khalid Jaibat, was trying to describe the magnitude of the loss of his brother as he appealed for the public to help track down the killers.
He wasn't my brother, he was my friend, my son. My whole family was depending on him. I lost my right hand.
Working alone, Ahmed Rashid was shot twice in the chest as he made a routine cash pickup at the Punch Bowl ex-servicemen's club. The getaway car was found dumped several blocks away, but there was no other trace of the gunman.
There is a lot of people who saw this happen. Please come forward.
Until now, Khalid says his family could never have associated their adopted home with the kind of violence in yesterday's robbery.
I thought I was living in Australia. It's a land of peace. I wasn't know this one gonna be a help for me.
Apart from the police investigation, WorkCover officials resumed their own inquiry today amid claims an increasing number of guards are being exposed to dangerous situations. Although the Transport Workers Union continues to attack what it calls a downgrading of safety for guards, the Chubb security company today refused to buy into any industrial row, confining its comments about yesterday's shooting to an expression of sympathy for the victim's family. Adam Walters, National 9 News.
The Premier has declared war on Sydney's crime gangs. In Parliament today, he introduced a range of new laws giving extra powers to police.
Back in the bear pit after 9 weeks away, but for the government it's not been any holiday.
Almighty God, we humbly beseech thee to vouchsafe thy blessing upon this Parliament.
After 6 years well on top, latest polls show the Carr government hemorrhaging over, among other things, workers' compensation, the school massacre fiasco and policing in Cabramatta. Today the Premier tried to stem the bleeding with a law and order blitz.
Mr Speaker, today we give police even greater powers to fight gang crime. We seek the full support of the Parliament.
He unveiled a raft of new legislation, new offences of carjacking and inciting juveniles to join gangs, as well sweeping increases in sentences for other crimes committed by gangs. Gang rapists to now face life in prison, and group members guilty of kidnapping, malicious wounding and drive-by shootings would all face longer maximum sentences.
They are designed to punish the cowards who hide in packs.
While the opposition welcomed the crackdown, they claimed the government's law and order problems were much more widespread. And just days from the Auburn by-election, they claimed things were so bad there, police had warned locals the car parks, their vehicles outside overnight.
Is this the result of your failure to put more police on the beat?
Both sides making it very clear law and order is the big issue leading up to the Auburn poll this weekend. Daniel Blyde, National 9 News.
Gina Reinhardt has finally taken the stand at the inquest into the death of her father, Lang Hancock. She claims he described his wife Rose as the most evil woman he'd ever met, that their marriage was a charade and that her money-hungry ways made his life hell. She also told the court that Rose took $6 million without Lang knowing. Ms. Reinhardt has accused her stepmother of causing or contributing to his death. Big budget films that are made in Australia are in line for a generous new tax break. The government has boosted the concessions following concerns that a tax crackdown would drive filmmakers overseas.
Made in Australia, taking on the world. Last night the razzle and dazzle was cranked up in London for the UK premiere of Moulin Rouge. The makers chose Australia as a production base, thinking we had it all. Then, the rude epilogue. Producers told there'd be no tax relief. All of a sudden, our movie-making credentials went fuzzy, and industry heavyweights demanded the government rewrite its taxation script.
Lobbying, relentless as it has been by all concerned, has not fallen on deaf ears.
Today, the government announced that very soon there'll be tax breaks for all big-budget movies made by foreign studios and locals, a 12.5% tax offset for movies costing between $15 and $50 million, providing 70% is spent in Australia. Movies exceeding $50 million get the tax break regardless.
We hope that there will be a considerable level of interest because it provides them with the clarity they wanted.
It's going to become more and more important to be able to get that kind of competitive edge.
The government also announced a film and television spending spree, some organisations getting the biggest budget increases they've ever seen. About $93 million over 5 years will be broken up and shared amongst the industry, an overall 5-year funding boost of about 20%.
All sectors have been looked after: training, development, production.
Matthew Watson, National 9 News.
The Reserve Bank will reveal tomorrow if it's decided to give the economy another kick-start. The bank's board met today to debate a possible interest rate cut of 0.25%, saying home buyers saving them more than $20 a month. On the stock market, the All Ords gained 12.3 on the back of a strong performance by the banking sector. The NAB recovered 75 cents after yesterday's massive loss. The Commonwealth up 32 cents, Telstra 8, Rio Tinto lost 69, AMP 18 cents, News Corp 14. The Australian dollar closed down against the greenback, pound and yen up against the euro. In the news ahead, tighter security at the big day out, and Titanic star Kate Winslet's marriage on the rocks.
Even though Jeep Grand Cherokee is more refined and civilised than ever, rest assured, it still hasn't lost its animal instincts.
At the Big Captain Snooze birthday sale, pop in for big savings on a big range with no deposit, interest-free finance. Save up to $800 off bedroom suites and beds at the Big Captain Snooze birthday sale.
This Saturday, discover the latest computer technology and discover software, hardware, peripherals and more. Canberra Computer Fair, Exhibition Park, Canberra, this Saturday, and discover a bargain.
Second-hand Sunday is happening on September 9 and it's free. Check the Canberra Sunday Times for details and get involved in this great community event. Help the environment, do your spring cleaning, or find that something special at Second-hand Sunday, September 9.
I want a bank that's committed to agribusiness.
A bank that looks after primary producers.
It's here.
With flexible loans to suit our cash flow.
A bank with interest-only loans.
It's here.
Seasonal finance.
With on-farm service. It's here.
A bank that does a lot.
A bank that reinvests every cent in rural Australia.
Elders Rural Bank, committed to agribusiness.
Get to Mums and Bubs for great savings on grow years, top cots and nursery furniture. Remember, there's always something for Mum and something for Bub at Mums and Bubs, Fishwick. Don't miss out.
Richard Branson has rejected an offer from Air New Zealand to buy his Virgin Blue operation. He says he would have made $250 million on the deal, but didn't want to sell out the public and his staff. Organisers of next year's Big Day Out concert have announced a major upgrade of security and safety. It follows the death earlier this year of DY teenager Jessica McCulloch, who had a heart attack when she was crushed in the big crowd.
As the loss of Jessica has shaken our organisation to its core, has caused great soul-searching among us.
Among the changes, children under 15 will be banned unless they're accompanied by a parent. There'll be extra security staff and crowd control barricades. Everyone will be given free water. Crowd surfing will be restricted and teams of medical volunteers will be on patrol. State Labor MP Tony Kelly has admitted that his son downloaded unauthorised software onto his Parliament House computer. The embarrassing admission came after Mr Kelly was twice investigated and twice cleared over claims that he hacked into opposition computer files.
After a month in the political wilderness over a computer hacking scandal, Tony Kelly today claimed his name had been cleared. But that was hardly the end of his troubles, forced to admit he knew who'd committed the security breach by installing unauthorised hacking software on his parliamentary PC.
A family member put that on. One of my sons put that on.
He then refused to say who'd used the popular security software to scan at least 150 computers in the parliamentary network, including those belonging to opposition MPs. An independent report confirmed that for 2 hours last July, somebody in his office ran the program that can crack passwords and tell hackers which computers to target. Again, he finally agreed he knew.
Well, I believe that was my son.
Why on earth would he be doing that? Why on earth would he be bothering to do that?
While Mr Kelly vehemently denied the software could be used for hacking, computer experts disagreed.
Yes. In terms of snooping software, it's up there with the best.
Despite the security breach, both the government and the opposition deny there's a need to crack down on access, saying family members should still be allowed to use MPs' computers whenever they want. As for opposition files discovered on Mr Kelly's computer, the report found it was most likely a mistake made by the Parliament's IT department. Fleur Bitcon, National 9 News.
The ugly face of religious hatred was on show in Belfast today when Protestants tried to stop young Catholic girls walking through their neighbourhood on their way to school. The girls were yelled at, abused and threatened, many tearful and terrified as rocks and bottles were thrown.
That is beyond anything I've ever seen, and it's beyond my worst nightmare.
The Protestants also clashed with police and soldiers, the violence getting worse during the night when Catholic gangs joined the fight. Embarrassment for German car maker BMW, with a potentially explosive safety problem forcing it to recall its new model of a British motoring classic. It's been discovered that petrol pump nozzles can cause a spark in the pipe to the fuel tank of the new-look Mini, which could possibly ignite petrol fumes. There have been no explosions so far, and BMW says the risk is minute. All the same, 500 Minis have been recalled and all new deliveries stopped. And Titanic star Kate Winslet has separated from her husband of 3 years, Jim Threepleton. Friends and colleagues are said to be shocked, many describing them as the perfect couple. No reason has been given for the split, but a spokesman says there are no other parties involved. Ken is next from up at the Goodwill Games, and the Dragons say they are not a one-man band.
And they're angry at the claims that they can't win without Trent Barrett. Also, Mundine booed after a controversial win. And Pat Rafter knocked out of the US Open.
Tonight, 2 great auctions.
$357. $375.
2 nail-biting outcomes.
Bid $500,000.
It's double the excitement.
Going.
The season final of Location, tonight on WIN.
At Westfund, we're bringing great value health assurance to Canberra, as we've done in Queensland and New South Wales since 1953. We're going to change health cover in Canberra for the better. And we're doing it right here in Northbourne Avenue and through the web. For a start, we say our prices are better, we know our benefits are better, but you make up your own mind. The Brumbies switched to Westfund, so if you're not completely happy, why don't you? After all, the big guys had their chance, didn't they?
At the Big Captain Snooze birthday sale, pop in for big savings on a big range with no deposit, interest-free finance. Save up to $800 off bedroom suites and beds at the Big Captain Snooze birthday sale.
Get to Mums and Bubs for great savings on grow years, top cots and nursery furniture. Remember, there's always something for Mum and something for Bub at Mums and Bubs, Fishwick. Don't miss out.
If the
Laser LXI's list of features makes you dizzy. Wait until you see the price. Ford Laser, outstanding value from just $19,990.
Hutchison Entertainment Group presents from the former Soviet Union, one of the world's greatest companies, the Kiev Ballet, performing Tchaikovsky's The Sleeping Beauty. Spectacular scenery, magnificent orchestra, hailed by critics as the most brilliant and beautiful production of all. The Kiev Ballet has performed to over 40 million people. Don't miss their 200th anniversary world tour performing The Sleeping Beauty.
The Dragons are turning potential bad news into positive news, reacting angrily to claims that they can't beat the Bulldogs in Saturday's qualifying final if Trent Barrett doesn't play. He fronts the judiciary tomorrow night on a striking charge and, if found guilty, will be suspended for 3 weeks.
As teammates went through their drills today, Barrett trained with a heavy load. The thought of missing the finals never once left his mind.
We'll play 26 rounds to make semi-finals and then to have something like this come up, something that was accidental.
It was Barrett's first tackle in the game against the Bulldogs last weekend that has earned him his third date this year with the NRL judiciary. The incident wasn't picked up until officials went back for another look at the tackle.
The original sheet came out and Trent's name wasn't on it, and then a couple of hours later his name was on it. So, but the problem is his name was on the sheet.
If Barrett is suspended, one option open to Farrer is promoting Willie Peters from First Division to play halfback, with Jason Hooper moving to 5'8".
I've been in First Division the last 4 weeks and been pretty happy with my form, and I'm ready to take the step up if needed to be.
I'm still hoping to be there, but if I'm not, I'm sure these blokes will go out and do us proud.
And the Yields' Michael Valla will also front the judiciary tomorrow night. Valla has pleaded not guilty to 2 careless high tackle charges. He's facing a 2-week suspension. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News.
Anthony Mundine discovered the not-so-pretty side of boxing last night when he was widely booed following his fight with Sam Solomon. The Wollongong crowd was anything but happy when a split decision went Mundine's way. The title holder exhausted after being taken to 12 rounds for the first time.
After the most controversial victory of his short boxing career, Anthony Mundine believes he will always have his knockers.
There's a lot of jealous people when it comes to Anthony Mundine.
Last night, Sam Solomon was doing butterfly kicks, believing he won the 12-round bout. But after Mundine was announced the winner, he had to be shielded from the bottles and other missiles.
The crowd's reaction alone said everything.
This fight went the distance, 3 rounds longer than any of his previous 8 victories. But there wasn't much flash and dash from Mundine.
Solomon opens up on Mundine.
I won it hands down. You won't see another defence like that unless it's from a superstar.
Solomon had won 12 of his previous 18 bouts, including 3 Australian titles and a Commonwealth belt. He says hometown decisions are not new to him.
3 of the 7 losses have been exactly the same. If you believe in your own height rather than your own ability, so you're going to get a big shock.
Well, I'm an exceptional athlete. I've got power, I've got strength, I've got endurance.
Mundine says he's ready for the next level, taking on a top 10 fighter.
And there's no big eyes, no busted nose, you know, I'm still pretty.
Charles Christian, National 9 News.
The big guns came out firing at the US Open today. Pete Sampras back to his best with a 4-set victory over Australian favourite Pat Rafter. Andre Agassi made everyone sit up and take notice. He'll now play Sampras, who was simply too sharp.
The kids played in the fountain outside the stadium, but it was far from child's play on centre court, and Pat Rafter was feeling the heat.
Oh dear, that was
He had plenty of support in the stands, so did Sampras, and he took the first set 6-3. Pat's even temper was being tested as he went down 6-2 in the second.
Oh, it didn't go over, did it?
Then the famous Rafter fight kicked in.
That's it.
The Australian took it to a tie-break, and a big second serve got him the set.
A second serve. Come on.
But he was on the back foot again late in the 4th set, saving 2 match points.
Yeah.
As hard as he tried, he couldn't save a third. As Pat Rafter waved goodbye to his most successful centre court, only time will tell whether it will be forever.
I just want to touch down a little bit. Maybe I might not like it. I don't know. Wait for it.
Some foxing in the pool at the Goodwill Games, the 4x100 freestyle relay, and Ian Thorpe made a race of it, appearing to slow down before kicking into overdrive.
Get too excited, you
The Australian men taking 14 of the 17 races to thrash the world team.
He was only joking.
Ensuring a wonderful but wet finale for head coach Don Talbot. Tim Gilbert, National 9 News.
And Hendo Track and Field at the Goodwill Games tonight with Marion Jones, our feature attraction in the 100 metres at 8:30.
That's the big one. Thanks, Ken. After the break, Alan with all the weather details.
I don't think you're doing anything immoral.
Choosing the sex of your baby.
3 out of 4 couples get what they want.
It's all about what you eat.
Cheese isn't allowed. It worked for us, so we were thrilled. It was just this satisfaction that was hard to explain.
Attention bargain hunters, here are the hotties. 51cm televisions, $349. The original Abdur, only $199. Metal brazier with tray, $29.95. And the buy of the week, Mars light bars, only 75 cents. Available at all Clints and the warehouse stores where everyone gets a bargain.
Some days seem to go on forever. And when I'm go, 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 backache can sometimes get the better of me. And that's why I was relieved to discover Panadol's latest innovation lasts up to 8 hours. New Panadol Extend. It uses bi-layer technology to work in 2 stages. So, unlike some pain relievers you may need to take again after 4 hours, Panadol Extend provides up to 8 hours of effective pain relief. Which means I can get on with the rest of my day.
What better way to start spring than with a new look and a brand new catalogue, packed with decorating ideas during Petarkco's Spring Spectacular. This tropical haven nylon twist with stain guard protection in 8 beautiful spring colours. From our Imperial Wool collection, superb textured 100% wool loop. And if it's timber floors you want, we're the experts. Petarkco's Spring Spectacular catalogue sale. On now. Call 1320 64 for your nearest Petarkco store.
You and he, an interesting combination, a strange blend, but somehow you belong together.
People describe me as very smooth, but with a little bit of a sting in my tail.
New Lipton infusions, not your traditional cup of tea.
G'day, Wheat. Where are you? You know the big meeting's about to start.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you're coming in loud and clear. You must be just round the corner.
Yep. I'm on my way.
You'll get clearer reception from more places with Telstra MobileNet CDMA, the network that gives more coverage to more Australians.
Hello?
Hey, where are you now?
Oh, it won't be long, Weeks. I'm just stuck in traffic.
Go with the network that offers you more.
Mario Puzo's The Last on 2, Sunday on WIN.
Tonight, weather brought to you by the CDMA network that gives more coverage to more Australians.
It won't be long, Weeks. I'm just stuck in traffic.
Temperature in the city right now is 18 degrees and it's partly cloudy and cool. It's been cloudy at times through the day. It's fine. The wind's moderate southwest to southeasterly and air quality was good. Along the coast to the south of Sydney, the day was mostly cloudy there as well, with light to moderate southeast and northeast winds and the sea slight on a low swell. Quite mild again throughout the metropolitan area with temperatures 2 degrees above average. The top afternoon readings 23 degrees at Liverpool, 22 in the city and Parramatta, and on the central coast the maximum temperature 21 and Katoomba 13 degrees. Fairly mild there today. Not a lot of cloud associated with a particular change coming through that we saw last night, but there was enough to give in that particular region there a reasonable fall in the Riverina, 11 millimetres at Yanko. But most of that cloud came through giving very scattered, very light falls of rain. That change will move through Sydney in the early hours of the morning and give us southerly winds and certainly a cooler day tomorrow. Area of high pressure coming into the picture, so that means generally fine weather, but there may be 1 or 2 isolated storms on the ranges. Fine in Brisbane tomorrow, top of 24 degrees expected there. Early showers for Melbourne 16, 17 for Adelaide and fine, and 1 or 2 showers in Perth and 18 degrees tomorrow afternoon. Sydney tomorrow, cold and cloudy in the morning with some showers, cool and showery through the afternoon. The possible storm and a cold showery evening. The winds moderate to fresh southerly and the seas moderate on a 1 to 2 metre swell, maximum temperature 17. Looking further ahead, a shower or 2 on Thursday, fine Friday, and some showers developing late on Saturday, Brian.
Probably the only ones for the whole weekend. The weight is Tuesday, September 4th. This is Brian Henderson. Good night.